Singapore area occupied, generals. They didn't do that. Initial stage, they killed them.
But Uno-san, when I listen to what the examples that you give, I think that if you put Korea plus Manchuria plus Singapore together, you must agree with me that actually it has the tendencies of actually wanting to control Asian countries instead of just getting together and joining Asia.
Okay, I'll try to answer you. They occupied Singapore. As soon as they occupy Singapore, they control British Army. Okay, British Army, but not Singaporean. For Singaporean, they try to get together. This is completely different.
Well,
and
killing
they
70,000.
70,000 people they control and manage, and the Japanese military, they always thinking about how to kill them. Okay, and this is Japanese military basic concept. But the ordinary people, they try to get together, not occupy. This is different.
No,
Malay is the same. Malay people.
It's not different.
Okay, for example,
it's exactly the same. It's what every colonialist power did. They knew that they couldn't control the entire population, so they get together with part of the population that helped
Malay
them to
is
control.
the other.
It's exactly the same. It's not different.
Malay is the other way. Okay, and British people, soldiers, send them to Malay for railways construction. Okay, at that time, Malay and Indonesian people, 200,000 people hired there. And after World War II, many Japanese soldiers are hanged because of that forced labor. But none of Asian countries' people never asked for them to kill.
Really?
Yeah. So because they feel they are not forced labor. 200,000 people. It means cooperated. But not British Australian soldiers, they feel forced labor. So they try to appoint Japanese more than 100 soldiers to be killed. This is history. And in Malay, Japanese is occupied Malay for 3-4 years, but Japanese soldiers, they didn't make any enemy. Cooperated. Philippines is the same. But Philippines, one exception is Indonesia is one exception. Philippines, one exception is depending on the generals. Philippine case is young beautiful woman tried to sell to brother. Yeah, Philippines.
Oh, really?
This is one exception. I don't know because based upon
who sold.
This is military.
Yeah, but how did they get these women?
And going around the city and find out young woman pick it up and beautiful woman takes soldier takes those women, but ugly woman try to sell to the brother. This is typical, And Indonesia is also Dutch woman is they try to sell to brother or they are
very limited. That was not a majority case.
But just exception.
Well, yeah, but those people hanged after World War II. Hanged.
The Tokyo.
No. Before ending World War II, those people are guilty.
Alright, so they hung.
But hung guilty under military law.
Okay.
But I think the problem, the result is the fact that we haven't achieved that ambition that we can lead organizing the Asia. We could say we continue to fail to organize, to be the leader, to organize the Asian nations. And it doesn't seem to me that Japan is not given. They don't have the notion that the Japanese are leader. The Japanese could be the leader to reorganize or reform the Asian countries to to have something better. So
Independent.
I know. I mean,
It's
Japanese might have
No,
that
it's not.
goodwill to organize Asian nations, but the fact is we failed. We haven't achieved that. Then we are getting away from that position. So that is
そうね。outside.
that is a problem, and that is a fact. So I don't think it's I'm not sure that the way to distinguish that individualism or the collectivism. So that couldn't be.
I don't
that,
think
that couldn't be.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think
So
so too.
as someone mentioned in the video that the individualism could have the cooperation, the sense of the cooperation in it. So we don't. I think they said that we don't need to have the collectivism against the individualism.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if so, what the question is, why Japanese is being like this, and what?
Well, I mean
what we
that is
should
a
do.
very
Yeah.
good question actually, and that was the basic question for today. So, what Nietzsche is saying is that people who want to belong to a collective, they are like sheep. They can't control their own life. They can't manage themselves, so they become part of a collective.
Of course, there is.
But that is really the Western perspective. That's really a way, a Western perspective, and it from a Western perspective also said, okay, and once we have that collective will be abused by people who want to use that collective and use that collective for their personal gain, to get power and to dominate not only the collective but also other collectives. So, like, take the church for example as an institute where people basically create a collective, say, okay, our church is better than your church, and then they start to not only dominate their own collective but also other collectives. That is our history. I think that makes sense. That if you look at European history, it seems like that there are only examples to be found that support that theory. But if you look at Japan, where basically people are more inclined to be a collective, and there are more benevolent leaders, perhaps. But I'm skeptical. I don't think that there are many people who would say that, okay, yes, we are just aiming to contribute without having a more than proportionate influence in that collective. I think that it's very it's very much in line with human nature that you want to make sure that your self-interest is being, like your individual interest is being represented in the collective. And if we as Japanese try to become involved in Asia, we are not trying to do that necessarily from the perspective that we are aiming to raise the other people's interest. I think the primary concern that we have as Japanese is to raise our own interest, to raise our own influence. And I think that is nothing to be ashamed of, because that's how it works in the rest of the world as well.
But Japanese characteristics is different from white people. Is morality or humanity is very heavy emphasis on it. Right? Morality.
I mean, if we just rewind 10 minutes and you were talking about
Divine. Okay, but anyway, this
Jesus, that's not morality.
3:50 ちょっとlet's break.
Okay.
Okay? Let's break.
Yes.
Listen, outside it's snowing.
Sorry, no coffee today, guys. No,
It's really snowing.
Who wants coffee? Oh my God.